is Brian, or Parasitic Zombie as my channel name is right now. It might change, but oh well. This morning at like 9 a.m. I went to see the Backrooms movie with my sister and my mom, and it was really good. I don't want to spoil it, but Kane Parsons is a really talented young director, and it gave me like a video idea to just ramble about my top movie recommendations, which has a lot of overlap with my personal favorite movies, but I don't really care, so that's what I'm going to talk about today. None of these are especially niche or cool. They're just stuff that I personally enjoy, and then a couple at the end which are more so just films that I think everybody should see at some point. My first recommendation is Trainspotting, which is a 1996 film based off the book of the same name by Irvin Welsh, and it basically follows this guy named Renton, who is a heroin addict, and a lot of stuff happens. It's really I wouldn't say it's quite non-linear storytelling, but it is very jumpy from scene to scene and character to character, which I personally really enjoy when it comes to the editing of a movie. But it is an amazing watch, and I think everybody should see it. The second one is Mysterious Skin, which is a 2002 film directed by Greg Araki, who is probably my all-time favorite director, and it basically follows these two guys, Brian and Neil, who were abused by their baseball coach, and it mostly takes place when they're teenagers, and it kind of just explores the different ways that sexual abuse can affect someone into their adulthood, because Brian just blocks it out of his memory completely, and Neil becomes hypersexual, and it's really just like a devastating movie, without explaining too much. It's a very intense watch, which should kind of be a given, but you know. The third movie is Secretary, which is a 2002 film starring Maggie Gyllenhaal and James Spader, and it is about their dom-sub boss-secretary relationship, and it's very, very romantic and cute, and I think a lot of people like don't understand the dynamic that they have, because especially in just like Letterboxd reviews, I've seen a lot of people kind of talking about how it's an unhealthy relationship and it's toxic, and James Spader's character is like manipulating Maggie Gyllenhaal's character, but that's not how it is. I think these people are just uneducated on BDSM roles and all things related to that. But it's such a good movie. It has like an old lady house aesthetic, I guess, and it's generally just a really cute movie, and I think everyone should watch it. The next movie I want to talk about is Taxi Driver, which I think came out in 1976, starring Robert De Niro as Travis Bickle, who is a mentally ill taxi driver in New York, and I don't know how to explain without giving away like a lot of the plot, but basically he's just kind of like a loser, and then he has this plot to assassinate this politician, in which he kind of undergoes a personal makeover and like a self-improvement era, and there's other stuff too, but that's just spoilers, so I'm not gonna get into it. But it's an amazing movie. That cinematography, amazing. The next movie I wanted to talk about was Clerks 2, and might be kind of a hot take. I'm not the biggest fan of the first Clerks movie, but I think that's only because I'm not experienced in low-paying jobs or jobs at all, so maybe I'll like it more when I'm older. I just think the humor is kind of dry. But Clerks 2 is peak comedy, in my opinion. It's just so ridiculous and entertaining. There's not really a lot to say about it. It's just great. Like, all the View Askew Universe movies are amazing. I love Kevin Smith, which leads me into the next movie on my list, which is Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. I love Jay and Silent Bob with all my heart. And it's just such a dumb, entertaining movie. There's not really a lot to say. I think that, like, the witty dialogue and humor is just so fun. I love Jay and Silent Bob's characters. Yeah. The last movie that I have that's just like one of my personal favorite movies is Fight Club, which very basic, very popular movie, but it is just so freaking amazing. Like, I don't really like Brad Pitt in general, but Tyler Durden and the narrator, it's so hot for one, and it's just such a good movie. The visuals, the colors, the motifs, I guess. I love a good motif. It's just so cool. I'm a big fan of character-driven media, and I don't know if you'd exactly call Fight Club character-driven media, but I think it has a really good balance of the interactions between the characters, especially just, you know, Tyler and the narrator, and all the action-packed stuff, which makes it fun. Okay, next is Fantastic Planet, which isn't necessarily one of my favorite movies, but I do really think that it's, like, freaking amazing. It came out in, like, 1972 or something, and it's a very avant-garde animated French film about this race of basically humans called ummmmms living on this planet, so that's ruled by these blue giants, and basically the humans are viewed as common pests, and it's just so cool. I think that it's like if Dr. Seuss didn't suck. The soundtrack is like this like psychedelic jazz that just goes throughout the whole thing. The animation is very dreamy. It's just so good. Okay, the last movie I wanted to talk about is May, which came out in 2002, and it basically follows May, this girl who is a little freak with no understanding of social norms or interactions, and her desire to find somebody who's perfect for her. It very much has the same energy as Secretary. Maybe that's because they both came out in 2002, but it's like a horror movie. I think it's very, very unnerving, both because of the actual horror elements, but also it's just so good at making the viewer feel awkward and stressed in the same way that May feels or makes other people around her feel. Yeah, it's really good. There's lots of other movies I could talk about in this, like literally anything by Jordan Peele or, like I said earlier, Greg Araki are amazing, and everybody should watch them, or just random movies like Little Miss Sunshine, but I don't want to film anymore, so yeah, that's it. If anybody has any movie recommendations, I'm always looking for them, so you should definitely comment that if you so desire. But yeah, that's it. Bye.